I'm seeing an interesting difference in the strategies between the two teams. Remix brings this Shrike back to try and play defense. The difference is that the Legion players go out of their way to try and get the Shrike down. They're focusing the Shrike purposefully on offense, trying to get rid of it, whereas Veer's Shrike was left basically on its own to deal with offending players as they came in, and he was able to get just countless kills on players who were just trying to clear the stand.
Yeah, yeah. He's you know, he's trying to get as where we see Veer, when he buys a Shrike, it's really a long-term investment for him. He wants as much value as he can get from it over time. He wants to make those credits work as much as he can in favour. But I definitely get the sense that when Remix gets the Shrike, he wants to make some, he wants to make some immediate big plays with it. And if that Shrike goes down, all he's going to do is go back to the position he was playing before. So it's not really a particularly big deal for him. So he's not afraid of trying to get as much bang for buck as he possibly can. GMAX has got a really convincing grab here.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen GMAX switch to Cap on this in this matchup, but he's coming down now. He just got taken out by Remix. Great splatter there. Hatui is there to pick this flag up, maybe get the return. He misses it. Zato misses it, but it gets returned, I believe, by ZP. Yeah. That's the second time ZP has made a really clutch return. The Legion players, for whatever reason, not choosing to kill out the mono players when they come for those returns. They are totally focused on picking that flag up, much to their detriment.
Yeah, Blitz is setting up a fast back to front route now, rather than opting for those those sort of those more static routes that we've seen from him before. And I think he has the advantage here where he might just catch these Legion players off guard. They haven't actually seen him do too much of this, and I don't know whether they spotted him coming in, but some great Claymore placement there from Tailspin. We're literally right along the exit path for Blitz.
Man's
there.
out on the back
went
of front.
Straight through that.
Yeah, he got the flag off the stand, but it didn't really matter. There was two players out there out front for Legion, able to chain him down. Or for Mono, I'm sorry. M-Star trying to chase down Zato as he picks the flag up after Matt dropped it. He's coming up the midfield now, tries to punt it off to his players on the stand. Tailspin is there. He's going to pick it up, getting taken down by ZP's Arcs Buster, but Projectile is there to cover him. ZP is trying to get on the stand. Bojinglebell's going for the E-grab. Bojinglebells gets the return rather, not the E-grab, and they're clearing off the stand now. It looks like maybe Blitz is coming in on a front-to-back route. He's going to go out the side. Yes, he's going to pick this up. No, he gets shot off by Projectile before he could even get that pickup.
So again, we're staying big with that Shrike, playing that that very defensive role we were talking about earlier, and it's very interesting to see it used in that way.
Yeah, both teams choosing to use it very defensively. Veer doing a really good job, just absolutely obliterating the offense as they come in. They're not really able to get a clear here for Blitz, so he's had a lot of difficulty even just getting the flag past midfield the entire game, and it shows in the score. It's 2-0 still for Legion. Legion seems happy with this score. They're not really changing anything up at all. They're they're sending their offense, but their offense is not afraid at all to turn around and clean up the base. So sort of a soft turtle being played here by Legion now that they have the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting as well because this game has been so fiercely contested over some of the events that I barely noticed quite how much time's gone. There's actually only 6.5 minutes left for the guys to make these caps up here. So I mean, it's up to them. We've actually got a cluster grab going through midfield now. Mabel grabbed that flag, but Jinglebells and ZP there to support. Although great play from Veer, they're going to get that. But Jinglebells picks the flag up, manages to dupe Veer on the Shrike, takes down one of the players. Z-Protoss now picks that up. Now he's got Projectile to contend. Projectile lands a big Nitron, and that's going to get returned most likely. Yeah, that does get returned now. And again, we're seeing this is exactly what we saw in the previous matchup, where this midfield control from Veer completely shut down any of these sort of these cluster grabs or these llama grabs. It put a complete end to it. We saw Mabel make
Blitz coming on a back to front. He finally gets out. He has 500 health. Wow, goes down to snipes from Tailspin. 2 in a row. Took him out completely. That's the power of the phase rifle. I believe he's using the phase rifle to take him down that quickly.
Yeah, being burnt out really quickly there. And I mean, we've got the strike back up now from Remix, and yeah, like as you pointed out, he's opting to play that much more in the style of Veer now, rather than making those offensive runs. We just saw him there taking out Matin, and yeah, he's almost already dead. I think maybe an attack there from Matin, maybe a mid-air against that strike, as Remix went in to take him out. But it's going to be no problem for him as he's in Technician. He's going to be able to repair that strike whenever he feels the need to. The generator's still up actually for Mono, which allows M-Star to get this force field up. So that's going to be important that they get those generators down again.
This is the defense of Legion just shutting down Mono right now. We're not seeing the flag move anywhere near midfield at this point. It's gotten about a quarter of the way up the field 3 times in a row, only to be sniped out or taken out by projectiles chasing.
Take a look at the strike for MonoManiacs. Fire is standing on top of it in Technician, healing it while Remix pilots it.
Yeah, it's being focused that much by Legion players. Legion is just going out of their way to try and take it out, which is not a bad strategy. So much time and resources are being used to try and keep it up that, you know, it's not being able to be used effectively. Hatui now coming out to pick up that flag that dropped by Matin, taken down by the strike of Remix, but he wasn't able to get the pickup and it was returned.
Yeah, I mean, we can see here the Jingle Bells and Z Protoss actually got complete control of this stand here. They burned down projectiles, they burned down the other player. Blitz comes in off a low to high and he's out very, very quickly. The strike is on him. He's also got GMAC there with, oh, great chain by GMAC. Manages to burn him out, and that's unfortunate because he was in such a good position. That awkward spawn up top from GMAC manages to potentially save them from that flag and making it all the way back.
Yeah, really interesting note. Veer came over and just absolutely destroyed Remix Strike just as that was about to happen, that grab. So now they're out of the strike and they don't look like they're going to be able to have time to get it out and use it effectively. So Remix has gone back to sniping on top of the hill.
Yeah, and again, I'm still not, you know, I'm not so keen on this. I really think that he's opening up the opportunity for Hatui to do too much damage. Having said that, Hatui actually now, you know, concentrating on that stand, gonna throw some shots there at M-Star as Zeta comes in as well. Matin looks like, I think he was setting up for a back grab, although I think he may have gone down. Oh, he is setting up for a back grab, but he's a good 10 out second. Although Blitz getting a really, really fast grab on the other side. This is out through top side really, really, really quickly, although he's very, very weak, and he has got the strike there. The strike is going to knock him out.
Wow. That was a great shot. That strike was way behind him. Landed that shot right on him, and he's going to be able to jump right back in. Takes a bolt, though. He's down really low. They could get this strike down for Veer at any second, but the problem is he's been in it so long he could buy another.
Yeah, he's going to not have any problems keeping that up permanently, is he? And we see Fire actually chasing him to the ends of the earth there. Actually really, really wants that strike down, but gets a great snipe from Tailspin there. Stops Fire doing any more damage to that strike, and that's going to open up the opportunity for Veer to fly away and get the repair. He's going to park that strike down in the corner of the map and repair it to compensate for those high price costs. Although, as he does this, Blitz gets a grab, and that was a great opportunity for Blitz to exploit there while he was actually repairing that strike. But
Fire was going for the pickup when he was shot off course. He was going for the midfield pickup. Shot off course by projectile as he chased it down. Gets the return. The flag is back on the stand for Legion again, and you're just not seeing enough flag movement for Mono. They've tried llamaing, it hasn't worked. They've tried clustering at home with 3 raiders, it hasn't worked. They've tried running fast routes from Blitz, and those haven't worked either. So probably a really frustrated Mono team right now, just unable to score. And meanwhile, the flag has come all the way home. On the other side, the flag has come all the way back, but Fire gets the return. Matin had gotten out on a low to high grab and had it all the way back to his base before that was returned. Blitz now going up midfield. He's finally gotten this past the midway point of the match, but projectile right on him gets a shotgun kill and returns the flag. So
Hatui's got a soldier grab going, so this could potentially be just a cap. Although Mabel up there, gonna probably do some serious damage to Hatui. Mabel actually makes the E grab as the blue players collapse back onto Mabel and get that flag up. Although look how low they are. 3 MonoManiacs players now crushing that stand. But Jingle Bell's the last surviving against projectile. And he's going to get shot down. So that flag is now safe at home. Although it looks like the other flag got... Oh no, it's still there, so they make that 3-0 with 35 seconds left, and this map is almost certainly going in the favour literally, I think it would be almost impossible for us to see a comeback now
It would
from
be
Mono.
quite literally impossible at this point because the routes, even the fastest routes, take 10 seconds flag to flag. So this map goes to Legion. Mono absolutely unable to score on this map. Maybe just a weak point for Deadstop and a really strong point for Legion. We saw this sort of thing happen last time, although it was a little bit less convincing last time around. Deadstop was able to pull out a few. They were able to pull out a few points against the Legion team on this map.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay positive for Mono here, but I think they just really got so outplayed there. The quality of the offense, especially from Legion, was just so good. Hadui particularly did a fantastic job of misdirection, making sure people were looking the wrong way. And we saw some fantastic play as well from Tailspin, and some credit to Mono as well. M-Star there, 35 frags, actually the top fragger in the game, and much in the style of Mono throughout this tournament. If we look at this scoreboard, they do have a huge quantity of frags relative to the Legion guys. They're probably 120, 130% of those frags, but it just didn't work for them. They just didn't get those flags out, and I think they're really going to need to think about things as we move on to Arcs Novena.
We're not going to play Arcs Novena. We're going to rotate this, and we'll get to the next map, which is Crossfire, in just a minute. We're going to go for a commercial, and we'll see you in just a minute. Alright, we're back here. We're going to play Crossfire between MonoManiac, Esports, and Team Legion. This is the grand finals of the FPSGeneral Invitational. And the difference on the line here is about $1,250. The top team going to be winning $1,750. The second place team is going to be winning $500. So a lot at stake in this matchup.
Yeah, and important to note, this is championship point now. If Legion win this map, they will win the entire tournament. They will take home $1,750 to share between their players, and they will be crowned champions of the FPSGeneral Invitational tournament. So let's get this view count as high as possible. Let's share competitive tribes with as many people as we possibly can. If you've got that link, send it out. Make sure everyone's watching. Let's show these guys some serious love.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to get underway right now.
20 seconds left on the warm-up timer, and we've just seen a really convincing win coming out from Legion.
Warm up over. We've just started.
Really difficult. Oh, my UI bugging slightly as we go live. So this starting in much the same style as we saw before. Fire actually going to start in LD. Not gonna run one of those cap routes we actually saw him running in a couple of maps earlier. It's going to go straight for Zato, kind of knock off Zato's timing. As we see GMC and Hatui coming off the left-hand side of the base, they're going to go move behind towards that conduit, I think. Yep, they're going to... Hatui's number one priority right now is getting rid of Remix, although he's going to go and take down those generators. Make sure there are no nasty turrets or nasty surprises waiting for Matin as he comes in off the left-hand side. Running what's really an interesting route, very, very low visibility, although he's climbing very, very high. Going to come in off the right-hand side of the Mono base. And I think he's been spotted by M-Star. I think they know he's coming. He comes over the ship now, although the level of clear just not sufficient. He just sees the brick wall that is M-Star holding that stand, and he just K's out straight away. There is no point in him just spudding against that. No point wasting time. Man off straight away, and he on his respawn he actually takes a thumper straight away from Mabel and is going to KO again. So it's definitely going to be a little bit frustrating for him as he loses a good few minutes. But quite a slow start. Not much in the style of what we've seen so far.
Really interesting things that I'm noting. Fire doing a really good job proactively defending his base. He goes out, he duels down Zato before he can even get near the base. He then goes in and takes out Hatui before he could take out the generators. Forced that offense push to really be delayed. There was no way Matin was going to be able to make a grab, so he then went and played offense, tried to clear the stand for his team. Really, really effective gameplay from Fire.
Yeah, we've had a really, really strong start now actually from Mono. Look, I've barely seen any blue players sort of enter their base. Barely seen any of these Legion players enter their base. M-Star doing a fantastic job with that chain gun. He's absolutely ripping those players apart. Goes through two players there, but the second he comes off stand, Matin comes in with a back-to-front grab, although I think it was a great nitro by Fire, or a great kill by Fire. Actually knocks that flag off, and that's not going to result in anything other than that flag moving about 10 feet from the stand. Those players going to K out and reset their defense. But again, unrelenting pressure from Legion. GMC, Zato and Hatui pushing out, spreading across midfield, actually trying to engage these players. Going to try and burn out Fire on the side. Z-Protoss actually moving around, going to try and do some damage to Hatui, spamming him that MJ5, doing a huge amount of chunk damage, blocking that respawn, that regen rather.
This is really interesting to see. This was something we saw a lot of yesterday, trying to dominate midfield. I see Zato and GMAC both trying to take down the offensive Mono before they can even leave their base. So something we saw yesterday from other teams, and which we didn't see earlier when these teams played each other on Crossfire, is this trying to dominate midfield, which we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, and it looks like Legion are having some real problems actually clearing the stand now. We've got Matin coming in off the left-hand side of the MME base, but I mean, again, there's nothing there for him. And he goes straight into the chain of M-Star, and there's just nothing that can really be done. Meanwhile, Bullets gets what I presume is a right to left. It's actually moving quite fast, quite convincingly, although it's going to be no problem.
Using that infiltrator again.
Yep, Projectile comes in with a big shotgun. Going to shut him down, shut that infiltrator play down, and return that flag. Mabel on the flag stand, although I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with that for now. Getting shut down by Matin there before he starts his route. Yeah,
that the base defense for Legion right now is looking much better than I remember from the last time they played here. It was 3 people on the flag stand, but they were having a lot of difficulty just keeping Mono from coming up on the base. When they were getting up on the base, they were getting away fairly easily. So they're trying to push out to midfield a lot more and take these offending players down before they can get right up in their faces.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams now, look at the quality of these offense pushes. Both of them have put a really good push together. They're going to have to burn down M-Star. If these campers are timed well with this, I think we could actually see potential for a standoff to unfold here.
Blitz is coming in on a back-to-front right now. I don't know. He hasn't been spotted at all. He's going to be able to get this flag. He gets off. He's got almost full health. He's got 700. He's got 500. He could still punt this and not die. He's got players on his side. His flag stand looks to be clear. No, Hat is able to clear it off and get an E-grab at the last minute, and that infiltrator throws the flag out front. Fire going for the return. Blitz still holding flag. He gets the cap. That's it. 1-0 for MonoManiac with 20 minutes left here on Crossfire.
Yeah, important to note that was their first cap of the series so far, so it's the start of them building it. Start them building any momentum that they might need to carry themselves through this game. So an important step is going to be good for their confidence there. As they roll out with the second push, we can see Fire and Z-Protoss actually moving across midfield. Going to take control of this. Territory. Fire actually, electing to stop right the way up there midfield. He's waiting there in Pathfinder just for any players actually push onto him, although he notices a weakness now, and he's going to climb to a height, trying to get rid of Tailspin. And maybe actually on Tailspin, the sniper now for Legion. Going to try and put him down for that 10 seconds. He does go down for that 10 seconds. Mabel now has control of the stand. All they have to do is move Veer off the stand as we see Z-Pro actually coming through the back. And Bullet's actually coming down from the left-hand side. So this looks going to be a clear grab for the guys. Oh wow, great shots by Tailspin. Refuses the situation. He shuts down Blitz as he comes in. So no problems there. Meanwhile on the other side we've got Martin running a very similar route. He comes through, but he looks like he just misses the stand. And elects the KO. As Remix is actually playing defense there in Sentinel, using that Falcon to chain out the players. Katui there doing some serious damage to him. So yeah, great quality of offense, but some really clutch sniping there from Tailspin. Holds on to that flag.
Yeah, I'm watching Blitz come and try and set up this back to front again. It looks like he might not go on spot at this time, though, because Matten is sitting back there waiting to set up his own route. May have spotted him as he came in, but it doesn't matter. The stand area was not clear. He couldn't get through that base and went down to mines.
Yeah, Mabel actually going there for a grab, but I've noticed now that we've got the brute play coming out from Veer again. This is something we saw on Arx Navina in the previous series. These two played in the upper bracket final, and you know he played some area denial with those really strong fractal grenades. But I've just noticed that they're actually now a player down. The Legion guys are actually a player down. It looks like I can't quite identify the player. They actually dropped Matin. Fonzie now jumping in, so they are back to 7. Although they are without their capper, Matin, who is you know one of their stronger players, makes a lot of big plays. So they'll probably be on the back burner until they can get Matin back into this game.
I almost wonder if that wasn't a deliberate move, dropping Matin out of the game because his routes weren't working whatsoever. Maybe dropping him out, getting an extra player who's really good at the LO, that's Fonzie, and maybe having GMAC switch to capper. Looks like what they've done.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Actually, it makes a lot of sense because they've replaced him very quickly. So yeah, maybe a tactical sub there from the boys in blue.
Yeah, not something you see done very often, even at this level of play. But you know, this could prove to be the difference in the game. We know that Legion had a bit of difficulty with this map against Mono last time, so maybe just trying something different is what it's going to be to try and get that win.
Yeah, Blitz setting up a very fast grab. They're coming around 250, 260 degrees. Only Tailspin on the stand, although Shrike there from Veer, and I hadn't actually spotted that. The Shrike is now up for Veer. Did a fantastic job there of shutting these players down. And you know, as we saw in Dry Dock, the Shrike came in. You know, it was a major factor in deciding that, you know, that convincing win for Legion. So seeing that Shrike back up, and maybe a tactical play, maybe a tactical decision there to try and seize this game again. Obviously, they're one cap down now. They need to mix things up, start getting flags off the stand. So maybe a tactical decision there from Veer. Having said that, Veer's play really, you know, it really seems to be orientated a lot more towards supplementing the defense rather than the offense. So maybe just going to help them hold on to flags rather than get any out.
Certainly in this match it has been, but the last time we saw that Shrike come out for Veer, he used it very effectively on offense. If you remember, it was when he brought that Shrike out on offense that Legion really started to score. So we'll see if he does that again at times.
I can see GMAC setting up an over-the-top grab here, but M-Star has actually spotted him. Fire there as well, and they are going to deflect him onto the ship, where he's going to end his route. But I mean, both teams having no real problems clearing. It's sort of they have to invest though so much time in getting those clears. The defense player is so good at keeping themselves alive that they're just not getting flags off the stand. Just don't have the extra time there to get those flags off the stand. And we're not really seeing too many cluster glabs because of how much control the teams are exerting in midfield. It's very difficult to run those sort of cluster plays when even in midfield if they.
Oh, we seem to be
Arky,
losing
you're a
you,
robot.
Arky. Yeah, you're roboting. I will take over for you. GMAC was just coming in on a side route there, but the flag stand was not clear. It's interesting to see that Veer is not moving into that offensive role. They're going to look to just try and control their base for now. Still a lot of time left. Wow, he just took out Blitz as he was coming in for a back grab. Didn't even get near the ship before Veer took him out. So maybe just having the confidence in their defense will be enough for them to sort of stack their offense and get that cap that they need right now.
Fire's got the flag moving here, though, as Veer is hot on its tail. Probably won't get very far with it. Kind of curious that he would take that flag out. We did see actually Arky has dropped, so he must be having some internet issues. So I will take over for him. I wanted to point out the inventory station on top of the palm tree over here on the MonoManiac side. Always lovely to see that placement. And in general, this game has been so defensive dominant. I mean, even though you're saying they haven't been doing a good job of getting the flags cleared, I wonder if it is the lack of Matten bringing in Fonzie there for Team Legion. And Blitz really not looking like himself today with these caps.
Yeah, really a lot of difficulty this time around for Blitz, not being able to get that flag moving at all. He's been running a lot of these low-speed routes, trying to do very tricky things with the infiltrator and such. I think they might have sort of showed their hand in the last matchup in the semifinals with those infiltrator grabs. They caught the Legion team off guard several times, but they might have figured them out at this point.
I'm surprised to see, maybe it has something to do with MonoManiac's not having AP Sizzle, that, he has such a high level of coordination with Blitz that they're not trying to run anything a little bit more complicated than just kind of created infiltrator routes.
Yes.
I'm surprised he's not running any kind of, over the top of the ship, strike grabs or anything, with a little bit more flair and those kind of things in general. Here for Team MonoManiac's a little bit curious, but they are up 1-0, so maybe they don't feel like they need to get too tricky here. But even still, like Legion, I wouldn't be surprised to see them, at least have Veer attempt a strike grab here if it gets under 10 minutes. I don't see why not if he can already go ahead and purchase another one. But Jingle Bells has got this flag moving for MonoManiacs. Veer all over him again. They're going to start trying to move this through the midfield here. Let's see if Veer's going to be able to clean it up, but the flag is out on the other side as well here. GM Sizzle looks like he's in a good position. We do have a strike out for ZP and the sniper in Remix, so looks like MonoManiacs is adopting that Legion style of play. GMC is going to take out that strike though with a nice place disc. Unfortunately, he is going to splatter there, but this flag is on his side of the map. Zato and Fonzie both making their way over. Oh yes, they're going to get this thing moving yet again. And the flag has been punted into the midfield by, I believe that was Mabel. It's going to go ahead and get returned now. Mabel is coming out to try to duel Zato as he comes in. Will he be able to put the damage on him? Bojingle Bells is in position as well. Fonzie is getting there to help with that escort. Tailspin projectile staying on the stand. Fire going to come in there for that clutch return. And it looks like we have Arky back in here.
Are you back in the game yet, Arky?
He's probably talking, but his internet is 0.5 upload or whatever it is. I believe Matten is also having some issues, and they both are UK, so maybe there's an ISP issue over there. So I will stick in and stay with you here. Projectile holding this flag now for Legion underneath their ship. Going to go ahead and return that, as he does have that support from Tailspin. And Veer, GM Sizzle going to set up routes. Surprised to see that Zato hasn't switched out into heavy offense at all yet in this game. I guess they're just not confident with these cappers, although it is good to see GM Sizzle has switched over into that dedicated capper role. He is highly competent. On the other side, Veer in the back, healing up his strike, but Jingle Bell's coming up, the conduit projectile coming to frag him out. Blitz is setting up this back route, but he has been spotted now and splattered by that strike of Veer. What are you seeing on the other side there, Kiwi?
The defense is just absolutely dominant for Mono. They can't even come close to the flag right now. I just watched GMAC come within 5 feet only to get chained out in a matter of about half a second. So there's no way that they're going to be able to get this moving without making drastic changes on the Legion side to their offense.
Yes, indeed. It looks like maybe Veer needs to start helping out with this stand clear or something, or harassing the sniper to get these cappers in a better position there. Unfortunately, GMC there just had to K out on his route, so no offense incoming from Legion for the next several moments. Blitz, here we go, setting up a very, very high route here as he comes in on the side. Looking like he's going to have pretty decent speed coming up beside the ship, about 200 kilometers an hour. No, he's going to overshoot, going to stop into this infiltrator, actually cloak up and take the flag off the front, takes all kinds of damage on the stand. Now punts it off to Mabel, who's there. Projectile going to, just nearly get that regrab out of the air there. Mabel does pick it up, gets splattered by Veer. Chewie and projectile there to clean it up, no problem. And
very interesting difference between the defensive styles of these two teams. The defense for Legion doing a good job of reacting to the grabs. The defense for Mono doing a good job of just preventing the grabs in the first place.
I am back now in the server after a minor technical hiccup that may or may not be caused by a small furry animal. attacking my router.
Your guinea pigs?
Oh, my cat.
Oh.
Alright, well then I will
All right,
bow
then.
out graciously to the beautiful UK accent of the one and the only Arcadizzle.
Oh, wait, thank you, Bart. So I'm watching GMC running what's going to be a fairly quick route. It's going to come over that right-hand side. Just M-Star there. Zato, the only offense player actually able to provide any kind of clearance. He does force all the players out of position, but it's not for long enough. Remix actually comes in with a body block and a chain kill. It's going to sort that out. I'd be interested to know, how long has Veer had this strike? Has this remained up for the duration of my absence?
As far as I can tell, yes. I don't think this is a second strike. This is the same one he's been using all along because he hasn't really brought it past midfield. He's using it in a very defensive role. He's been getting a lot of flags, splatters on the flag carriers. So, interesting choice when they did use it so effectively on offense last time. I wonder if it's just something they're going to try and save it for the last minute to get the last minute push.
Yeah, I mean, looking at now...
And Blitz has just gone offline. MonoManiacs has just lost their camper and Blitz. Mabel carrying the flag for them, Fire carrying the flag now as it was passed off. He goes down to the offense of Fonzie and Zato. We're going to get this return, it looks like. M-Star comes off the flag as the Hoff, and he gets that flag moving, prevents it from being returned. But oh my goodness!
Wow!
I don't even know who that was. I think it might have been Veer. No, it wasn't Veer. I'm sorry. That might have been Tailspin coming across the field like that in Pathfinder. Gets that return right out from under 3 Monomaniac players. So they managed to keep it still 1-0 Mono.
Yeah, that's going to have been really, really important. I've noticed now Frost has jumped in for Blitz, so they're back up to the Monomaniac guys, back up to 7 players, although not with their first choice of cap. A strike now coming out from Z Protoss, actually. Be interested to see whether he plays this in the defensive style of Veer or goes for the more offensive style that we've seen so far. He's encircling that base, laying down some fire, going to put down Fonz, going to put some damage onto GMAC, although GMAC gets a quick grab using that thrust pack out from underneath. He's pushing across midfield. He actually gets surprisingly far, but he goes down. Zato's moving out. Zato can pick this up, although the strike is on him straight away. M-Star Fire going to crash him. Mabel in the midfield as well. Fonzie
Fire with the MA to take out Zato before he could move that flag up, and they get the return. I believe that was M-Star getting the return there, taking the flag back to stand. Really good job by Fire crashing down on the flag carriers from Legion.
Yeah, so 7 minutes left on the clock, and 1-0 up to Monomaniacs here. And I mean, this is something very similar to what we saw in the previous series. We actually saw, I believe it was on Arts, Mono were actually leading by 1 cap, 3-2. I think with sort of a similar amount of time left, 6 or 7 minutes left. And then we saw just a crazy amount of grabs. I think we saw three caps coming out from Legion within the remaining 6 minutes to take the map. So I mean,
interesting point here. Veer's strike had gone down. He just bought another, but ZP is using his strike to try and take out the new strike from Veer, and he's using ZP is playing a very offensive role with this vehicle. He's doing a really good job just splattering the defense anytime they come off the base. So very different strategies for these vehicles these two teams are using.
Yeah, what I'm going to be asking myself is whether or not Z-Protoss is actually going to try and preserve this strike, or whether he would actually be quite happy just to crush his strike into Veer's strike, just to block their strike from cause given how much damage that's been doing, it's been absolutely decimating that offense. So I mean, I think a sacrificial play here might actually be fairly beneficial, and I'll be interested to see whether that's something that ZP goes for.
I'm watching GMAT come in now. It looks like he's going to be doing an over-the-ship route. Yes, he's going to bounce off here. No, it was thrown down onto the ground for him to pick up out of the field. That was a planned play. He was on that route from the beginning. They knew that flag was going to be down there for him. He gets sniped out though. Bo Jingle Bell's there to try and get the return. It might get returned. No, Zato gets the pickup out of the field. He's turned back going the other way, but there are 3 players here for Mono trying to get this kill. They get the kill. Are they going to be able to get the pickup? No, they do not get the return. G McKizzle punts the flag up. It's right out front of the Legion base. All they need to do is pick this flag up and get it up to stand. Nobody's crashing the stand right now for Mono. It's punted to stand for Tailspin to pick up the sniper. He's going to cap it. No! It goes down to the strike of Z Protoss, and it's returned by Fire. Oh my god!
That was so close. And that all started from such an amazing play. We saw an absolutely fantastic play from the guys in Legion throwing that flag onto the floor so that the GMAP could actually run over the back.
right
we've said
the
this,
other way.
With
Blitz.
what presumed started as an E-grab, actually gets that all the way across midfield, and he had the potential to cap that there, although the snipe came out from tailspin, really clutch snipe. Gonna buy them a few seconds. Swipe comes in from the Shrike, can't do anything about it. Fire's gonna be climbing from the stand here, although Hatui and
Hatui
Fonz
goes
actually
to
coming in.
regrab, yep.
Hatui gets that E-grab, Fonz stuck in the base. You're gonna just sit there as projectile comes in, gonna lay down some oh, Veer makes a
Veer
sacrificial
ditches
play.
the Shrike to try and get the return, and they do, they got the return.
Great play there from those guys. Great play.
Wow. Both sides using that Shrike in last-ditch efforts to prevent the caps, and they do. Both Shrikes being used very effectively. They both got splatter kills as they ditched against the ground and against the ship, and you know, players coming in and making those returns at just the right time.
Yeah, some really great play there, and these guys, you know, fighting this so fiercely. Obviously, second place takes $500, so these guys are guaranteed at least $500. Blitz actually with a grab through midfield actually gets surprisingly far and manages to pass that off to Mabel. Although Mabel now slightly out of position, Fonz and GMAC surrounding him. Projectile pushing across midfield, Zato to support him as well. So Mabel making some progress around the side of the map, although look at this, these intercept coming in from Projectile. The second Mabel touches down the floor, he gets a great Nitron.
Yeah, great Nitron from Projectile, and Zato gets the return. There was no way Mabel could do anything about that. He was using his shield pack to try and avoid sniper fire, so he wasn't able to jet up and away from those Nitrons.
Yeah, I mean, this game has been so close, and you know, it must be really gutting now for Legion to come so close to tying it up. They were, you know, that flag was past to Tailspin, who was within a few feet of that stand before the stand crash came in from Mono. So they had a real opportunity to actually tie this up now, there. And with 3 minutes left, this map's looking, you know, fairly in the favour of Mono, especially as they appear to be, you know, stacking a little bit more towards more towards defense, although I can see Jingle Bells now actually pushing out through midfield. But that Shrike there to support M-Star, Remix, Mabel there as well. We've got a good push coming in from Fonz and Zato, but they're going to get cleaned up. GMAC looks like he's going to run some kind of over-the-back grab.
He's going to do that same thing they did before.
Wow.
Hatui throws the flag down. He's going to try and pick this up out of the field, but M-Star jumps down off the flag stand. He gets the body block as GMAC came across the ground, picked up the flag. M-Star gets the kill, I believe, with the chain gun fire. So, despite the fact that they had that route in their pocket, they've now showed it, and Deadstop able to make the adjustment. They're able to spot it coming and stop it from being effective.
Yeah, fantastic work from M-Star. You know, he's a player we've talked about all tournament, being a recent acquisition for MonoManiac Esports, and he's shown his ability to, you know, get some serious frags. Right now, sitting up there, 29 frags on that Doombringer roll, which is not something we often see. But showing his intelligence as well. That you know, they'd only run that strategy once, but that was enough for him to know exactly how he needed to react, exactly how he needed to respond, and the exact angle that flag carrier was actually going to come in. I mean, it's one thing knowing what they were going to do, but to actually be facing the right direction when he dropped down, you know, he did a fantastic job there. So all credit to M-Star.
Yeah, GMAC coming in on a side route now. Not going to try that for a third time just yet. But Remix there on the stand, able to chain him out. But Veer came in for a back grab using that Shrike. He's going straight down the middle. This is what I was talking about. They were saving this Shrike so they could use it in such a way, and he's gonna be able to get this cap. He gets that cap. It's tied. It's 1-1. Veer going through the back of the ship gets the flag out all by himself with that cap. Unbelievable. Blitz going the other way. Also a back to front. Punts it off. Mabel midfield not going to be able to pick it up. Fire come out to pick it up himself. He's getting sniped at, but Fire's right there. They're going to be able to maybe cap this. It's up to Zato and Hatui coming across the field to get this E-grab. Zato gets the E-grab. It's out the back of the ship. It's now on the stand. It gets returned. Oh my goodness, they just returned that flag for Legion. Legion's flag is back on the stand. Zato K's out, it looks like, out back, and is happy to do that after getting that E-grab and buying them the time to get the return.
Yeah, that was an absolutely phenomenal series of events. I mean, that play from Veer, absolutely astonishing. You know, he went out with blistering speed, and you know, he lined it up, like he turned his Shrike on a dime to line that up. So absolutely phenomenal play, and then great play as well there from the Legion guys, crushing that stand, diffusing that situation. It looked like they were gonna lose that advantage or lose the tie-up they just got. So yeah, 20 seconds left. It looks like we're going to go into our first overtime of the night. I mean, championship point into overtime. This couldn't really, you know, this couldn't really get much more exciting right now.
Wow, I'm seeing ZP switch his strike over to offense now after playing defense for quite a while. He's now here with Bojingles. Bojingles going to go for the llama. It looks like no, he's going to just continue to clear. I don't see where the capper is coming from. Blitz is setting up a really high route from the side. He hasn't been spotted yet by Tailspin, so he might be able to get this flag off.
Yeah, and Vin actually back to playing Brute Hoff, so so going to see him do some area denial sort of stuff using those fractal grenades. Blitz comes in for a grab, although Projectile able to knock him down with the disc, and that flag's going to get returned. So we are now into our 10 minutes of overtime. Score's tied up at 1-1, and whoever caps next will win the series, or will win the the map, and potentially the series, and potentially the tournament. So so very important here.
Legion just needs one cap at this point, and they'll have won first place in the grand finals here of FPSGeneral Invitational. On the other hand, MonoManiacs just needs to cap in order to stay in it at this point. They've lost one map in this series, so it's on them to stay in this right now. It'll be interesting to see if Veer is ever able to get out another strike. He's had a few. He just got a body block on Blitz as he came on a back to front. Just Blitz didn't even have a chance to grab it. Veer didn't even know he was there. Got the kill.
So we can see it looks like the defense from Mono is actually tightening up a lot. I can see Fire, Mabel, M-Star and Remix actually there. Looks like Mabel may have moved into an offensive role, into a defensive role. No, he's pushing back out on the offense now, so they're electing not to change anything up. Which is probably the smart thing to do with this being an overtime. The emphasis is still on them getting these caps. So Blitz is setting up that infiltrator grab that we actually saw. Oh no, he's actually in Pathfinder. However, he's going to be, he's going to be really difficult to see. They're not going to see him. He comes over the ship, steers that around, and it's a really interesting route. And he actually weaves that past Projectile. He has got it out moving, although he takes a big hit.
Wow, Projectile was so low there. ZP ditches the strike to try and pick that up out of the field, but he does not get the pickup. Fire going to try and pick it up now. The flag gets returned by Tailspin as he comes down off the flag stand. Bojingles was waiting there for the pickup though, the re-grab. He's heading across the field now. He's in Raider. Decides to pass it off, it looks like, for ZP, who's got more health in the Technician class. He's coming across midfield now. They're going to try and cluster this back. They've got Mabel, Bojingles, and ZP. Now Fire is joining them right around the midfield point. On the other side, I think Zato just punted that flag across. Projectile is going to try and go for the pickup. The flag was returned on the other side. The Legion flag is on the stand. They've got the control of this flag, though. Fonzie picks up the flag. Blitz leaving on a back to front with the Legion flag. GMAC heading up to his own flag stand. The flag is down in the field. All they need to do is return this flag and cap it. Tailspin is on the stand. He picks up the flag. All they need is return. It's on the stand. Tailspin can cap this and win. Legion wins. Oh. Grand Finals, FPSGeneral. Legion wins first place.
The champions of the FPSGeneral Invitational. Fantastic play throughout the tournament. They were the second seed, so you know, not so much of an upset, but I mean, absolutely phenomenal play. We saw some amazing play, and every time we see a tribes tournament, the level of play just, it's taken to the next level, and I think this just really demonstrates that. This is actually going to be a really key match. This obviously we spoke earlier. This was the first time these two teams have met since CSN. We're going forward now into the NASL finals that are going to be held live in Toronto. You'll be able to catch that through the in-game viewer in Tribe to Send. I'm sure that will set that up. And you know, it's same teams. It's going to be really interesting. I mean,